Welcome to the JCPod, partner with Stay Down Sports. I'm your host, Jaden Chandler Parnell, and man, 37 days until NFL football, and even better than that, 25 days until college football. Truly crazy that both of those are basically around the corner. I mean, that's only just a few more sleeps. We're basically going to be there in a matter of no time. Man, can't wait. Honestly, cannot wait at all. So the plan for today, as you can see by the title, there's not going to be any breakdowns today, just simply for the fact that, for those of you who've been keeping up, I have a surgery upcoming. Nothing too crazy, thankfully. I'm getting a cyst removed, so I have surgery on August 14th. So pretty much for this week, won't lie to you, maybe won't be an episode Thursday if there is. I at least have some stuff planned. If not, I'll save that for one of the other breakdown episodes to talk about it as well, along with the breakdowns. But pretty much, yeah. So today we're going to go over some NFL news and all that. If we have an episode Thursday, might be a little bit more stuff in the NFL, look ahead to the season, some favorite games, potentially stuff like that. Past that, then the following week after that, normal week, we'll have one of the first breakdowns. The week after that will be my surgery week, I believe. Did I even do that right? I might be off by a week. So, like I said, normal episode today, potentially no episode Thursday. I'm assuming if there's no episode Thursday, it'll be the last day without an episode for me for a while when it comes to Thursdays, and we should be on for the rest of the season. So if that's the case, then I'll do my NFC breakdowns on the 6th and the 8th like normal. And then the 13th and the 15th, those will be pre-recorded episodes. I should have both. We'll finish the other breakdowns after that. And then potentially that following week, I haven't fully decided if I'm going to record it yet or not because I'm going to have stitches in my face and everything. So as long as it's not too distracting, I'll probably end up hopping on. And assuming I even feel well to do it because that's a lot of moving the face. So if I'm able to hop back on, you'll see me that week of the 20th and the 22nd, and then that next following week is my buddy's bachelor party. That's when I'll have another pre-recorded episode of all my futures, bets, and everything like that. So pretty much how it's going to go, to dumb it up if I went a little too long-winded or it was a little hard to understand, it's going to be NFL news this week, catching up on some stuff. The following week's going to be NFC breakdown, part 1, part 2, NFC breakdown, part 3 or part 4 the following week. Potentially episodes that week. If they are, it's going to be a few of my futures and everything like that. And then that's going to be basically futures part 1, 2, 3, and 4 because we're going to break down all the for sure futures I'm taking, go over some final NFL news, just go over that stuff. And that's pretty much going to lead us right into the first season because I'll get back from my buddy's bachelor party on September, I think, 1st or 2nd. And then, that 3rd, we're back to normal, and football is going to be that week, and then it's officially time. But yeah, so that's pretty much going to be covering what's going to be happening all of August, is finishing some of the breakdowns, officially giving out all my futures for college football and the NFL, and then just finishing up any last preps or anything that we missed. So yeah, with that being said, we pretty much have a week's worth of news to go over today. So that's probably all we'll do today. Probably keep it pretty short. Nothing too crazy this week because, like I said, I'm going to be putting a lot of my effort and stuff into these breakdowns, finishing those breakdowns, and then finishing out my full bets of futures and everything I'm going to be taking for this upcoming NFL and college football season. We got to start with the NFL news now. After that very long-winded intro, Aaron Rodgers is not expected to play in the preseason. I don't think it's too shocking. Robert Saleh came out and said that Rodgers will not play in the team season games. The team has yet to decide if Rodgers will play in the 3rd and final preseason game, but Saleh didn't sound too optimistic. So yeah, it sounds like he's just not going to play at all, which makes sense. He's a little bit of an older player, and I don't think preseason is going to do too much for him. They want to keep him healthy. I wouldn't even lie. I think a lot of this, even the sitting out part, is partially too because he got hurt in the first few plays last year. Just like, let's at least wait till the season until we run him out there and everything. The Bills are signing veteran Kareem Jackson to a 1-year deal. Jackson finished 2023 with the Houston Texans after he was waived by Denver Broncos, and he ended up getting waived because of some illegal hits that he had. He finished with 53 tackles, a pair of interceptions, and 3 pass breakups in the 10 games. He's going to be really good experience for them. Micah Hyde, Jordan Poyer, both those guys are gone now in that room, so he's going to be able to fill in. And that's the first time since 2016 that either one of those two aren't going to be there. So it's a whole new look at safety pretty much for the Bills. So getting an older dude who's been around and knows what's up is not going to be a bad move at all. They have Taylor Rapp, Mike Edwards, and second-round rookie Cole Bishop to go along with him. So that's going to be the safety room. I'm assuming all 4 of those guys are going to see playing time. I would assume Kareem Jackson and Taylor Rapp are going to be the starters. Would not be shocked if Mike Edwards ends up starting, though, over Kareem Jackson. But yeah, I think all four of those dudes are probably going to end up seeing playing time in that room, and I would not be too shocked at all. So far, John Elway said my biggest mistake was Broncos GM was bypassing Allen for Chubb. John Elway said that passing quarterback Josh Allen was probably his biggest mistake as a general manager. Last year I played golf with him, and I was wondering how long is it going to take for him to realize that I passed on him and took Bradley Chubb instead. And it took him 2.5 holes. Elway recalled. That's honestly kind of funny. Because I can only imagine, especially because I golf with my buddies all the time. And so I can only imagine that, they're he said 2.5 holes. So they're probably they're on hole 3, probably on their second or third shot. They're probably 135 yards out with their wedges. And, Josh Allen's probably sitting there warming up. He's like, by the way, you remember that you passed on me and could have had me? Probably just casually brought it up just exactly like that. Just something that was very, very random. Just randomly brought up like, hey, by the way, do you remember this? That's on. I think that's honestly pretty hilarious. But to continue on, and I loved him, but that just didn't work out. Wait, this is from... But to continue on with what Elway was saying, he said, and I loved him, but it just didn't work out. He was my type. That was probably my biggest mistake, was not taking Josh. I mean, honestly, with how close he was in Wyoming, too, that is pretty shocking that they decided to go with Bradley Chubb over him. But I can't remember who they had at quarterback at the time. Elway had just signed Case Keenum, coming off a breakout season with Minnesota, and was still smarting over selection of another tall, strong QB from a small school. Oh, Paxton Lynch, that's what it was. Yeah. So I think after he drafted Paxton Lynch, he's probably a little bit hesitant. But man, imagine Josh Allen on the Broncos. That would be, with how good their defense has been the past few seasons, that would be honestly pretty fascinating. And when they had some, I would say arguably their receiver room was better than he's had at the Bills between Cortland Sutton and Jerry Jeudy. I mean, yeah, I would not say it's hard to believe that room is a little bit better than what he had in Buffalo. Even with Stephon Diggs, with being as good as he is, just all across what the Broncos had at that time. I mean, that could be a pretty solid room. Yeah, man, honestly, Josh Allen as a Denver Bronco, I mean, just crazy to think about all those games they had with, like, Russ last year, all that shit with Paxton Lynch and Trevor Siemian and Drew Lock, just all that shit replaced on Josh Allen. It's like, huh. I mean, also, it's an interesting butterfly effect. It's like, man, what did the Buffalo Bills do then? That would be a very fun little wormhole to get down. Maybe one of these summers. Be like, oh, what would happen if John Elway ended up drafting Josh Allen instead? Might be something we have to do. To continue on, though, Mike Vrabel said that he's looking to be a head coach again at the right time. At the right time, he said, there's a time and a place for that. It's not going to be anytime soon, so I think that the things that I'll ultimately learn here may help me with the next job, blah, blah. I would assume that by him waiting for the right time, he's kind of waiting for a right job. I'm assuming he has a few jobs in mind that he wants to take, that he has his eyes on, that he's pretty much waiting for. Because, I mean, he has it kind of nice now. If I'm not mistaken, I'm pretty sure that the Titans bought him out. So I still can't get over how they fired him, honestly, and got rid of him. So I guess maybe they didn't buy him out, but I just genuinely can't get over how they got rid of him. He had 2 losing seasons, got rid of him, but I thought he was one of the brighter spots on the Titans. Well, to see, I mean, the Titans might not end up being too bad this year. I don't think they're going to be amazing, but I'm going to at least give them a chance with their new coach. The fact that they went offensive-minded, it's just Will Levis, too. There's a lot going on with the Titans that I'm not the biggest fan of. So the fact they got rid of Vrabel first is kind of like, oh, so maybe they could just be going whole clean slate with it, which would also kind of make sense, but just to get rid of Vrabel, that felt like a guy you don't want to get rid of, but they did, and now he's kind of just a free... I mean, I would love him on the Colts, but the fact that we got Shane Steichen now is kind of like, yeah, I do love Shane Steichen, so I can't really say I'd want to get rid of him for Vrabel, but wherever Vrabel ends up, they're going to be a really, really good team. I'm just trying to think off the top of my head. He could end up, I guess, the Cowboys job. He could end up at the Giants job. Those are 2 jobs. He could end up at the Jets, potentially, I would say, because... Honestly, I would not be shocked if he ends up with the Jets. Say, Saleh doesn't do too hot this year, or they make the playoffs and it's a one and done, like in the first round. I guess if they make the playoffs, they maybe keep Saleh, but if they don't go to playoffs, they fire Saleh, I assume, and then they could get Vrabel. I would not be shocked at that signing at all. Bill Belichick could even be a signing for the Jets. Now, I don't think he would coach for the Jets. I believe that's like the one team. Maybe I believe that's the one team that he came out and kind of said he would never, ever coach for at this point since he's been with the Patriots, but I could be wrong. Yeah, I think Vrabel for the Jets would be a pretty good fit, but I'm trying to think of any other jobs that might be open with Giants. We just talked about that. I'm just trying to think of AFC jobs because I can't think of any NFC off the top of my head. I don't know. I guess if we... I don't know. I don't know where it could end up. Yeah, that's gonna be him and Bill Belichick. Those are gonna be two of the biggest names to watch for going into this offseason to see where they end up. Apparently, the Titans pass rusher Arden Key is facing a 6-game suspension for violating the performance-enhancing drug policy. This is the Titans edge rusher. Head coach Brian Callahan chose not to elaborate on Key's potential suspension. We have to go play football with what we have. That does not sound like a good sign. I don't know. I won't lie. It doesn't sound like he's too happy with what happened. I would not be shocked if he ends up. I would assume they're going to keep Arden Key for the season at this point, but I would not be shocked if he ends up leaving. I don't know. I just read something about a dude who was a fan of the Jaguars that Arden Key was on and kind of just said some inside stuff, but like, yeah, this is kind of bullshit. About how, just kind of saying, I guess not, what's the right word to say for it? I guess not kind of calling what goes around comes around, kind of explaining that situation about Arden Key's like, I'm not shocked. And then said some other stuff, so that was interesting to read about, but, yeah, apparently NFL also handed defensive lineman Danico Autry a 6-game ban on Monday for violating PED, so it sounds like they're kind of going across the league and they found a few dudes. I'm sure he won't be the last name to come up. I wonder if there's going to be any other big names that we hear from, but yeah. Potentially I'm not going to say a huge loss for the Titans, but to lose the edge rusher this early in the season, and especially for 6 games, that's going to be probably not ideal. Especially when the Titans are going to have I think they have a tough Bears, Jets, Packers, Dolphins, bye, Colts. I mean, he'd be pretty useful in a lot of those games, I'm not going to lie. So, probably pretty upset to lose him. Caleb Williams will not play in the Hall of Fame game. That's not shocking at all. I'm pretty sure I read as well that C.J. Stroud's not going to play in the Hall of Fame game. Probably not going to see much of anybody that we know playing in the Hall of Fame game. Probably a few dudes who will potentially end up being cut by both the Bears and the Texans, end up on potentially other teams, or dudes who are going to be playing some of their last downs of football. I think that's a lot of the potential guys we'll be seeing. A lot of depth pieces will be in the Hall of Fame game, which sucks because I won't lie, I'm so excited that football is back so ecstatic, but this ain't going to be the year I'm going to start watching preseason football. I'd be lying to you if I said I would, but hey, we'll just wait for the real thing. I'll kind of just like not even watch highlights, because like I said, they don't even play that many of the starters very much anymore. Some teams do, some don't. So I'm just kind of going to be a thing where you keep an eye on the teams who do, kind of see what their trends look like. Teams that don't, just see some of the depth pieces potentially for fantasy. It's all it's going to become for me, really. Just keep an idea on everything. Let's see. Oh, yeah, apparently there's a contract dispute, so Mac Judon is not at practice right now. Apparently he exchanged a few words with Gerard Mayo, and then he left practice, and then Gerard Mayo had a few words with the GM for the Patriots. I'm assuming he'll get money. I'm assuming this won't be too big of an issue because Matthew Judon's one of the biggest names at this point, one of the best players on this team. And he's not a Belichick guy. He's a guy from the era post-Belichick or post-Tom Brady as well. So I'm assuming that they're going to try to keep him around because especially like he's one of the best defensive players. Kel Williams hopes to improve blitz looks before week 1. I would say I'm working on my blitz looks, my blitz and coverage looks, and feeling the umbrella of the defense and feeling that out to adjust protection, to adjust whether it's a run, flip the run into it, flip the protection, get to a quick game, get to the cover 0 check, however the structure of it works. That's pretty much he added a lot of that comes with seeing it in reps, so that's also why preseason those things are important. I'm honestly very excited to see Caleb. This is probably the best quarterback the Bears have had in years, talent-wise. Now, is it going to work out? I don't know. The Bears have quite a history of not having quarterbacks work out too nicely there. But I think he has a decent shot. I mean, he definitely has the talent. It's all just going to come down to the coaching and everything. The Bears did show some improvement at the end of the year, but, man, they kind of threw Justin Fields to the Wolves. a little bit. I mean, don't get me wrong. I didn't think Justin Fields was going to be like super amazing for them, but I thought it'd be slightly a little bit better. And then it just ended really, really weird with him and everything. So it's kind of like, I don't know if I fully like that situation. So hopefully it goes a little bit better for Caleb Williams. I mean, once the Bears trade for the number 1 overall pick and Caleb Williams is going to be number 1 overall, the writing was pretty much on the wall for Justin Fields. But regardless, just hope there's some luck for Caleb Williams because, that Bears have not had a lot of luck on offense, and they've been not a fun offense to watch for a few years now. Justin Fields gave them some hope, and they got rid of him quickly. So hopefully, at least shoes to fill wise, Caleb Williams, at least as long as Caleb Williams makes the offense fun, I think Bears fans will be happy. But if he starts winning games for them, that's when I think all of a sudden we might see something truly special with him and the Bears. Because truly, if I had to guess, I think all Bears fans want to see is like some hope that he's good, and that there's going to be potential there, and to just have fun in games and able to maybe win a few games here and there. Because I'm assuming most sane Bears fans, I mean, don't get me wrong, I think they're over under, if I remember right, it's like 8.5 win. I have a lot of Bears fans I know that think they're going to go over it, but I would just say as long as they win like 6-7 games this year, it's going to be a successful year. If Caleb Williams shows some signs of the guy that they think he could be for the number 1 overall pick, I think they'll be okay. Aaron Rodgers got hit and stepped on during practice. He's not happy about that. Makes sense because you're usually not supposed to touch quarterback, but that's not really news. Lamar feeling wonderful after missing practice with illness, so sounds like he's all good. Just had a quick sickness. Cooper Kupp excited to feel healthy amid full offseason workload. I feel good. We got a lot of good work in this offseason, Cooper Kupp said. The best thing about last year was just being able to feel healthy and have a full offseason of work, and not just for myself in terms of working out and building my body back up, but also having that time with Matt Stafford and be able to get on the field and work through some things. I'm excited for Cooper Kupp this year. He's going in the 6th round of fantasy. Won't lie. His guy I'm potentially going to be looking for fantasy. I think he might have a pretty good year. I mean, he started the beginning of the year on injury reserve after suffering a hamstring injury in camp. He only played 12 games last year, missed 5. With Puka Nacua coming in to take some of those catches and look as amazing as he did, with them both, that's going to be a nasty. Between those two, Kyron Williams and Blake Corum, I believe Blake Corum, that's going to be a nasty. They have a nasty offense. They have a really young defense still. I think this is going to be really fun. The Rams are going to be a really good offense to watch this year. It's going to be really, really fun if they can keep everybody healthy because they got a lot of good names. Nick Chubb apparently has a little way to go in rehab. Sounds like a little way to go. He suffered the injury in week 2 of last year. He's starting the year on the PUP list. We're really happy to see where he is as we enter camp, and we look forward to him continue to improve his health on his knee, that Barry, their GM, said. The Browns said they expected Chubb to return at some point in 2024 season last September. This is his second knee injury as well on the same knee, so I would not be shocked if they take his time coming back and we see him not until like December, but I'm assuming he'll come back this year, not be the best, but be somewhat good, and then next year, another year removed from the injury, we'll see him come back a little bit to form of what he was, but it's scary. I wonder if we're going to see the full Nick Chubb we saw before. The injury was just super, super scary. Wishing him all the luck in his healing because, man, dude, that just sucked. I mean, and he's only 28 years old. He came back from one horrific knee injury, so he definitely can do it again. Speaking of injuries, Samson Ebukam for the Colts tears his Achilles. This is a huge loss because he had a career-high 9.5 sacks last year, a 3/4 fumble, coming off a career year pretty much. Man. It just sucks because I really thought that just sucks. Colts can't ever seem to stay healthy lately. They was carted off during Sunday's training camp session, and Steichen initially said he thought he suffered a calf injury, but obviously it's worse than that. Like I said, it just sucks because he was playing so well, honestly. Played so well last year. Like I said, 9.5 sacks, 3/4 fumbles. Basically damn near a career year for him. Just frustrating, man, honestly. Just really, really frustrating that he got hurt, and hopefully he's just able to heal and able to move on forward from this. Man, just sucks, too, because like I was really looking forward to the Colts pass rush. So it just means Latu is that much better of a pick now. We talked about D'Amico Autry being suspended. Over the course of my 10-year NFL career, I have never engaged in use of performance-enhancing drugs. I was therefore stunned this offseason when I learned that one of my tests returned a positive result, he said. I immediately investigated the matter and discovered that a pharmacy to which my doctor submitted the prescription for a different medication had, whether intentionally, recklessly, or negligently, included a banned substance. I want to be clear, at no time did I know or even suspect that this medication could be banned for a substance. I won't lie. Kind of sounds like if he doesn't know what he's I'm not going to call him a liar, obviously, but if he doesn't know fully what he's taking in his body, that seems a little bit suspicious, but I'll at least give him a little bit the benefit of the doubt. Just sucks. 'Cause yeah, that's, they just signed him to a 2-year, $20 million deal this offseason. He had a great year last year with Tennessee, career high in sacks, 11.5 in tackles at 50, and now they're going to be without him for the first 6 games. Tua, expectations are raised after he signed a big deal. No way. But I'm very curious. We need to talk about this Tua deal. He signed a massive deal. Tua agrees to a 4-year, $212 million contract extension. A lot of money between him and Trevor Lawrence for only one playoff win is what a lot of the talk is right now. It just goes to show you that to keep an average to above average quarterback around, above average to good quarterback around, you're gonna have to pay a shit ton of money. And that's exactly what the Dolphins did. They're going to pay him an average of $53 million a year. He also received the $42 million signing bonus. And pretty much now that all it is now is, hey, you better win or your ass is going to be gone. Pretty much is how I see it. I feel really bad for Dolphins fans, honestly, because this is one of those contracts they're basically forced into, but it doesn't feel like they fully wanted to do. I won't lie. Obviously, they wanted to keep Tua around, and they wanted to keep him for a few years, but I don't know if they wanted to pay him all that money in all those years. That's a tough deal, man. That is a really, really tough deal. You've heard my opinions on Tua. I think he's a good, not great quarterback. Top 15, maybe not top 10. If he is top 10, he is number 10. Maybe number 9, but I wouldn't think so. I think he's more of a top 15 quarterback. Man, I don't know. It's just a shit ton of money for somebody who so far in his career has not done too well towards the back end of the seasons. And then last year in the playoffs, me and Rowan called their game to a T. The second we saw they were going to the cold negative degrees, it's like, oh, they aren't going to want to be there. They aren't going to score any points. And I even told him, I was like, well, and if they do score a point, it's going to be a bomb to Tyreek Hill because they eventually just got lucky and Tyreek Hill broke loose. And what happened? Tyreek Hill broke loose. They scored one long touchdown. Did nothing else on offense the rest of the day. So I just want to see a little bit more from Tua before he got all that money. But like I said, I'm not against him getting paid. Shout out to him, honestly, for getting paid. That's a shit ton of money. That's life-changing money. Honestly, congrats to him. I'm not saying he doesn't deserve the money. I wouldn't pay him that much. But obviously, with how good the quarterback value is and how big the market is, obviously the Dolphins felt, like I said, they probably didn't want to do this, but they obviously felt like they had to do it or somebody else would do it. So shout out to Tua for getting his money. Excited to see what he does this season. Because like I said, I'm not rooting against him. I'm obviously not rooting against him at all. I'm just intrigued by, I don't know. I wouldn't want him as my quarterback personally. Would I take Anthony Richardson over him? I probably would for the potential as of right now. I say that Anthony Richardson didn't even make it through last season, but we'll have to see. I think Tua, like I said, I think he's a good top 15 quarterback. I think the Dolphins are going to be good again next year. Now, maybe they fall back down to earth a little bit, go 9-8, but I still think they're going to be a winning team. I just don't know if he's the quarterback to win you multiple playoff games in a row. He hasn't proven that to me yet, and I will fully admit, if he does it, I will fully admit, hey, I was wrong, Tua's that guy, and he can do that. But until he does that, we're going to kind of stand my ground a little bit. Cowboys activated Diggs off the PUP, which is really big news for them. He suffered an injury in practice in 2023 last year. I forgot he only played 2 games last year. Diggs got hurt so early on in the season that, I kind of forgot that he got hurt so quick. So it's awesome that, because Deron Bland broke out and everything because of how he was injured. So good to have him back for the Cowboys. He's a really good player for them. One of their stars on defense. And they're going to need him back because it sounds like this is the make or break year for the Cowboys, especially when it comes to Mike McCarthy, and I would say potentially even when it comes to Dak Prescott. Mahomes says I will get to the Mahomes thing in a second. I skipped over this. Kyron Williams said that Aaron Donald should come out of retirement for the playoffs. I would say that potentially he might do this, but I don't know. I don't know if he fully would. I don't think he's come out. I don't know if he's come out and said that like he's done for sure. Aaron Donald has, but Aaron Donald has come out and say Donald, who helped the Rams win a Super Bowl in 2021, attributed his decision to retire from being burnout and no longer having passion to play football. I'm satisfied with what I was able to do in the 10 years. I think it's time for me, the 32-year-old said. And I think it's time for me at 32 years old to retire from football and jump into the next step of my life and career. So, and on Friday, the Rams officially placed him on the injury reserve or on the reserve/retired list. So I mean, I would not be shocked if he comes back for a playoff run, but kind of sounds like. I mean, he has a Super Bowl ring. He has a shit ton of money. I don't know if there's really anything else he has to like prove to the game or give to the game, really. So I mean, he retired out on top, and he's gonna probably go down as one of the best, if not the best, defensive lineman of all time. Shout out to. Oh yeah, this is what I want to talk about with Mahomes. There it is. Shout out to Mahomes for this as well. I don't feel underpaid at the latest QB deals. I think this is an awesome answer from Mahomes. I think we do a great job managing my money to be able to pay me a lot of money and to keep a good team around me. I know we've kind of restructured it a couple times and got the cash flow up in a certain spots and certain years. It's about having a good dialogue, good communication, and with the front office and the ownership. We've done that here, and we've been able to allow me to be a highly paid guy while at the same time build a great team around me, which is really awesome to say because, I mean, it's true. He's made a shit ton of money. He had basically has generational wealth now, and they're still building a great team around him, and he's winning Super Bowls. This is what all your quarterbacks to do. And shit, at the time of signing his deal, right now his average salary of $45 million now ranks him 11th among quarterback. It was tied for first when he did it, or even was first, but I mean, he's going to make a shit ton of money. At the time, he signed a 10-year, $450 million extension with the Chiefs in 2020. I mean, with how much money he's going to make and all this other shit, it doesn't. That's where I think a little bit where the difference is, too. Mahomes realizes how good he is, how good his team is, and he's like, hey, I don't need all of this money. I'm going to get a shit ton of money from all this other stuff I do and everything, so let's do it like that. Versus some of these other guys maybe see it as, well, shit, Mahomes is running the league, and they don't seem beatable right now. Maybe I should get as much money as I can. Regardless, though, Players Union, they want players to get as much money as they can. Because obviously then the players just keep getting more and more money. Like I said, I think it's the players getting money, but when quarterbacks are able to do this and willing to do this, just makes them that much better of a team player, especially, I mean, we saw it with Tom Brady. Tom Brady might have been a little bit more forced into it, but we saw it with him. Did it for all those years, and 20 years of success in New England happened. 20 years of success in New England. Jeez. Tongue twister. The Lions signed Taylor Decker to a 3-year deal worth 3-year extension worth $60 million. He is now signed through 2027, and he's entering the last year of his contract before this. Makes complete sense they're going to sign him, keep the core together. So I like that. I like the signing. I was trying to think of I don't know what I was trying to say, but there's a certain word I was trying to think of that I just couldn't think of. But I do like the signing. I think that it's good to keep the guys around because the Lions had a chance last year to make some noise, and now it's time to go. So if you like, especially Decker, he's a really good offensive lineman, so I think it's a really good move to keep him. Dallas Cowboys defensive end Sam Williams suffered torn ligaments in his left knee while taking part in special teams drill. He has a torn ACL and MCL, so that means he is done for the season. It really sucks because it sounds like he was going to be a depth piece, and not only that, he's going to be a key special teams player for them. So Jim Irsay made his first appearance at Colts camp since December when he fell at his home and being injured. It sounds like the 65-year-old owner. Damn, he's only 65. I won't lie, I thought he was like 70, 80. I just forgot the wear. I guess the best way to put it is just the wear and tear he's had from the years of the chaotic life he's had as an NFL owner and all the demons he battled before it. That's good to hear that he's doing better. He told he's been rehabbing from 2 surgeries as well. So that makes another reason as to why he's been out of the limelight a little bit. And he is expected to be seated in a wheelchair. So that's awesome that he's going to be there. Is he's going to be there for the Pro Football Hall of Fame for Dwight Freeney. So it's awesome that he's going to be able to make it. It sounds like his health is improving a lot because he's actually going around the events and doing stuff, which is really awesome because it just got weird last year where all of a sudden it's like, hey, Jim Irsay's kind of fell at home, and then he just kind of went out of the limelight, and they didn't say much about him at all for the longest time. And then it's just kind of like, hey, he's okay. We just aren't going to say anything about him. Hey, he's okay. We aren't going to say anything about him. This went on for a while. Moving on. Chargers Quentin Johnson makes strides after a disappointing rookie season. This is coming from, I think Harbaugh said this as well, as he's looking a lot better. Right now, Johnson's in a competition with Joshua Palmer, DJ Chark, and Ladd McConkey for the starting spot. Sounds like it's, I think, Ladd McConkey, Joshua Palmer, and I believe Quentin Johnson is the 3. I could be wrong if I remember hearing that, but for sure Ladd McConkey sounds like he is in the one of the starters as well as Joshua Palmer. This is really sad news for the Patriots as well. Christian Barmore has been diagnosed with blood clots. And, sorry, I'm getting blown up about something else that I don't think I need to answer, hopefully. I was like half reading it as I was talking. I'm like, man, I really hope they don't need an answer right now. But Christian Barmore is going to be away from the team with blood clots. This is really sad news. Apparently he's being treated by doctors at the Mass General, I'm assuming at a hospital in Boston. They're just testing him. Who tested him and they evaluated him for it, and then they had some, so now they're going to fix it. Well, there's no current timetable for his return. He is getting tremendous care, and we look forward to his full recovery. I would assume that means he's going to miss a lot of the... I'm assuming he's going to miss a lot of the season because of this, if not all the season, but I wish him a speedy recovery because, yeah, that's some scary news. Chris Jones is missing practice with a groin strain. I'm assuming he's going to be back within a few weeks, not even a few weeks, probably just like a week at this point. Met reporters a week ago said he joked about lobbying the head coach Randy Reed for time off during camp, but since he's hurt a little bit, they're just giving him time off to heal, nothing too crazy. Vikings leaning on Darnold to keep the pressure off J.J. McCarthy. So apparently, who said this? Oh, this is from Kevin O'Connell, the head coach. I want a really competitive situation. Sam will be taking the majority of his reps with that first group. But I think you'll see JJ get some as well. But also, it's about the quality and the volume of those reps throughout the camp and continue holistically to attack this quarterback development program and process for JJ. So it sounds like, yeah, they're going to lean on Sam Darnold, pretty much take a lot of the punches and allow basically time for JJ McCarthy to get ready. And then once JJ McCarthy's ready, they'll be like, all right, Sam Darnold, assuming Sam Darnold's playing not as good, they'll be like, all right, it's time to go. If Sam Darnold's playing good, they'll probably at least let him finish out the year, then let him go. But yeah, I would not, if JJ McCarthy's ready, he will be starting, if not by the end of the season, for sure by next season. Travis Kelce come out and said the heavy workload is taking a toll on his body. Last year was pretty taxing on my body. I've had more snaps than a lot of guys, if not everybody in the NFL over the past 5-6 years. I'm very prideful of that, but it's taking a toll on my body. Which makes sense, and that's why last year he was hurt a little bit, took some time off, and that's why now in fantasy it's crazy. You see him go from the first round to, I think he drops to like second, third, fourth. I can't remember off the top of my head, but crazy. Usually you're used to him being like second, third, fourth pick in fantasy, heavy workloads, and now we're going to see the other half of his career where it's like, oh, at the beginning of the season maybe he doesn't go too crazy, but if it's a big game like Baltimore versus Kansas City, you'll see him maybe go off. I know that's the beginning of the year, but you'll see him go off for some of these big games and other games. Hey, maybe he only has 3 catches for 50 yards, 4 catches for 60. Like, it's going to be really, really small, quiet workloads for him. Moving, I think that's close to about where we're at. Lamar Jackson, we talked about the illness. He's back from that. Saints backup. Oh, shit. Apparently, the Saints backup quarterback Jake Hayner has been having some skin cancer issues, but apparently he is okay and still remains at camp. But said he learned a little more than a week ago that he has a form of skin cancer that is rare for people his age. It's kind of something that just popped up. But sounds like he's going to be okay and he's going to keep fighting. So shout out to him. That's another scary thing to deal with. I mean, shit, dude's only 20. Dude's basically I turned 25 in September, assuming that he is 25. He's only, a few months older than me and dealing with that type of shit. Just scary, dude. Hope he's okay. Let's see. Teen sentenced to state facility for youth and the role at the Super Bowl shooting, which is Hopefully there's some actual change from that because that's just a sad situation. I don't think I need to go into that anymore. We talked about Tua signing. Jordan Love actually is the highest paid quarterback. We haven't talked about the Jordan Love deal yet. Mahomes on the Raiders Kermit doll thing. There was apparently an issue with a rookie. There's a rookie that came out with the Kermit the Frog thing, kind of talking trash. So now Mahomes is gonna be like, all right, I'll see you on the field. So we're gonna a little bit more to that Chiefs and Raiders drama, which is really awesome. Love that. You love division drama, especially when teams kind of hate each other a little bit. So it gets a little feisty in the field. There's nothing better than a little bit of hostility between two rivals. Getting to watch that, especially the Raiders played the Chiefs pretty well last year, so that's gonna be fun to see what they do this season against them. Jane Daniels said that I like competing. I'm a competitor regardless if I'm announced a starter or not. I'll still have to compete. You can't be content with your job, which basically just came out and he said, I'm happy to be fighting for the starting job, which, let's be honest, he's probably going to start it, for being honest. This is kind of scary news. Michael Badgley, the kicker for the Lions, will miss the rest of the season after having a significant injury. Apparently he was injured before practice Thursday and will require surgery. I don't know if this is a knee, ankle, what. He didn't kick long field goals, really, though. I think that's what a lot of Lions fans' issues were. So it kind of stinks because he was pretty good from inside the. He's pretty good from the inside, but he didn't like to kick too many far field goals. So this might not be a horrible move for the Lions. Maybe they can try risking it for a younger guy that might have some more distance and everything. But to lose a consistent leg like that is going to really hurt. Julius Peppers, 3-year, $30 million extension with the Patriots. Shout out to him for that. Isaiah Buggs, who we talked about having all those issues with animal cruelty and all that, he's going to be sentenced to hard labor. Ordering him to serve 60 days of hard labor for some of those issues he had. Maybe that's why the Kansas City Chiefs released him as well, is because they saw that he actually got charged for it and had some shit he had to do for it. Chargers, J.K. Dobbins said he can be one of the best backs in the league. So he just has to stay healthy, man. It just sucks because he's had flashes of greatness, but he just hasn't been able to stay healthy at all, and that's been his biggest killer. And Dak Prescott's come out and said playing for another team may be a reality. That's not too shocking. We've talked about it a little bit on here. If they don't win at some point, they're going to move on from him. And especially if that means... Because, you even see it with all quarterbacks. It's very, very rare for one quarterback to stay at one team forever. Peyton played for the Broncos. Tom Brady played for the Bucks. Aaron Rodgers is on the Jets. Favre played for the Vikings. It is very, very... I'm trying to think off the top of my head. I can't think of one quarterback. I'm sure there's some. I just can't think of it right now. I can't think of one quarterback just stayed with one franchise for his whole career. Drew Brees, he started out the Chargers before he went to the Saints and made a career for himself. It's just very, very rare. Especially for the NFL, because at a certain point, either you're the young guy and you're going to take over, you flame out, or there's a young guy who's going to take you over, and you just aren't as good. And it's crazy because, obviously, like we saw with Aaron Rodgers, the Packers didn't really want him at all, but the New York Jets were dying for a quarterback. Like, please, Aaron, come over here. There'll be a team who wants you, but it's just crazy to see that difference. And that's probably going to be where we end it. That's going to do it for today. Like I said, there's a lot of info to talk about. Not fully sure if we're going to have an episode on Thursday. If I am, it's going to be a talk on some college football stuff going on. Probably talk about some games I'm looking forward to in the first few weeks of the season. And that probably will be the plan for Thursday. Just come on, talk a little bit of college football news, some stuff about the college football playoffs, and then talk about between college football and NFL, talk about some of the games I'm excited for and some of the games I'll be looking forward to watching the first few weeks. But thank y'all for watching. Thanks for the support. I really do appreciate it. Really, really excited, man. It's going to be a fun week this week. Then we got 2 more weeks of breakdowns. And then we got pretty much 2 weeks of me giving out futures. And then it's football season, man. We're going to hopefully go back to our winning ways. I can't wait to talk some more of the betting side of football and everything. I just can't wait for the NFL season in general. It's so damn close at this point. 37 days. Just a few more sleeps. And before you know it, it's going to be right here. Thank y'all for watching. I will see everybody back in this feed potentially on Thursday.